It's the Jim and Terry Show. Yes, Jim is back in the hobbit hole for a fresh pot of coffee. And he's a scary person this morning.
Oh, excuse me, I can't do that.
I think you did your voice in when you gave that snarly growl thing. It is Halloween.
It is. Shell out, the witches are out.
Well, I hope they're not. I haven't seen any. No witch spotting, although I will get my binoculars out this evening.
Well, I'll be running around with a bunch of little...
You'll be taking the grandkids.
I'll be going with them.
Oh, good for you. So you still enjoy...
Unless I somehow figure out a way to screw that up. I don't know exactly where we're meeting. I got to drive to Beaverton, and they're all parking somewhere. So, and it's Perseus' birthday, so I got a card and some money for Perseus. And I missed it last year. I don't know why. I don't know if I was sick. I don't know what the problem was, but I missed going out with them at Halloween. Maybe it was just miserably cold and wet, and I just can't take it anymore.
Okay, you've got grandkids that you shell out with. Tell me about traditions. Has anything changed since the days of shell out, the witches are out, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat?
I don't know, because I end up just talking at the street, right?
With the other parents?
With the other parents, and the kids go up, and with my boys. Depending on the subject matter, they may get into something, and I'll just be wandering the streets, like some weirdo, and actually say to the cop, I totally know why you're pulling me over.
Yeah, well, you do have that, little growth of beard, and, I could see if you stooped over and had a hoodie on, you might look a little threatening.
Some people have been complaining that you're wandering the streets.
That's right.
I'm going with my grandchildren.
Yeah. I like that. You're with your grandchildren. That's a great way. But you're not aware of any changes in traditions then. How about hot costumes? What are your grandkids wearing?
I think costumes would just be whatever's current. I mean, didn't they go through Dora at one time and, all that stuff? So
all the trendy cartoons.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing. They're probably way more elaborate than I did. I mean, I would just go out as an old bum.
We got away with that because back in our day, the fellows who used to travel on the railway trains between cities looking for work was a real thing. And people did make fun of them as being vagrants and the hobo lifestyle. We had a stick, not a hockey stick, and a handkerchief. And you put in enough cheese and bread to get you through the day. And
that's right.
You look for another
You had
meal.
A couple of hobos right here at your wedding.
I
enjoyed them immensely.
It's funny you were mentioning that because I was looking for photographs of Shisham and Lotus. I'll put a link in the description for this podcast.
Shisham
but
and Lotus.
Old-time music.
Oh, they showed up like they just jumped off the train.
They did. It looked like 1930s Dust Bowl kind of thing. There was a fiddle and a banjo and the old horn where, you're talking to this thing and it goes wrong. That's how they amplified their sound. And they played harmonica with this horn to amplify the harmonica sound.
I enjoyed them. I thought it was fun.
That's funny that you mentioned that. So it's been 15 years, my friend. Wow. 15 years since that shindig in the backyard. And but the costume that you were talking about, those fellows did shop for vintage clothing. So they looked the part. Their shoes looked 1930-ish mint. And their suspenders and the whole collar that they
one of the
wore.
reasons I liked it, and my brother Bobby will remember, because he thought this was a very low point design-wise when I was in a rock band. We were in white suits and red ties and very dapper looking, right? And all this. And then for some reason we got out of that and we just put anything we wanted on. And I found a pair of 1920 trousers with the cuff and everything else. So I had that, and they were really loose fitting, and a t-shirt, and I had like a Rastafarian hat, one of those multicolored hats.
Yes.
That's what I wore on stage.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember leaving my apartment, going down the elevator, and I remember people, you could just see out of the corner of your eye, them like, what the hell is this? And I had Engelbert shoes, which were what I got out of Sally Ann, which had pointed toes. Mm-hmm. And so, I loved that look. Bobby didn't like it at all. He said, we went from suits to that.
Well, it was role-playing of a sort. Once you're a performer, you're a performer. You might as well dig the whole shtick.
Oh, I just liked it. It was comfortable, too. What a workout, too. When I know this is off subject, but I remember playing in the band. Like, I worked all day when we were in town. When we were out of town, I didn't. except I remember commuting to work and then going to Hamilton to perform, drive all the way home, go to work all day, drive to Hamilton to perform. Anyways,
I don't know how you did that.
we were a very rambunctious band, so you lost 5 pounds a night, and I was already skinny as a rake, so it was a great
High
workout.
energy.
Great workout.
High
Yeah.
energy. Okay, let me take you, rein you back in. Since you're on the musical theme, I might as well chase that down and link it to Halloween. Do you have a favorite or two Halloween song?
Oh, yes, I do. I was working in the lab late one night when
Love
my eyes beheld a new sight.
The Monster Mash.
A monster from his
I
lab
love-
began to rise.
I love that.
Something or other to my surprise. He did the mash.
Very
He
good.
did the monster mash. The
That's a
monster mash.
classic. Vintage Monster Mash.
Yeah. I thought that song was great when it came out.
How about this one? Mama said there's something strange about my Billy. His bed wasn't slept in at all last night.
Was that from Rocky Horror Picture Show or something?
No, it's about a werewolf though. It ends up with a silver bullet. And so I thought, yeah, some people do really well at scary music theme songs.
There's something interesting. It's not Halloween, but it's on Netflix. It's called The Manhattan Alien Abduction.
What?
And apparently
Is this like a crossover genre?
Well, apparently it's scary, because I think it's going to be scary, because apparently people in Manhattan saw the woman fly out of her apartment being taken by aliens. So this is a
So
whole
it wasn't just a woman going out a window and falling to her death.
floating out in the
She
air.
floated out and there were visible alien beings.
Yeah, so this whole documentary is about that. There's like 3 or 4 episodes on it, I think. And it's
Okay.
called The Manhattan Alien Abduction.
So your scary movie viewing for the month of October, is it wrapping up with that one?
I got to at least peek into it, but maybe not in the middle of the night when I can't sleep at 3 in
Is
the
it
morning.
Netflix?
It's Netflix, yeah.
Okay, so I will check into that too. We'll have to report back. Manhattan Alien.
Manhattan Alien Abduction. Apparently, it's just famous, documented.
I've never heard of it
everybody-
myself. So again,
Well,
what,
again, then government covering up or whatever. Apparently, there was eyewitnesses of her floating in Manhattan. A lady floating out of her apartment building.
okay.
And she said, if they want you, they will find you and get you.
And the they is
Aliens, you silly
aliens.
mortal.
Okay, just checking. Just just because you got 2 or 3 witnesses doesn't mean it's necessarily
We're
true.
all over the place today. I got to tell you, you realize Trump said he was interviewed on the Joe Rogan.
That's a scary thought.
And he asked him about the
Getting
whole thing, and he goes, "Well, I talked to pilots, and they're good pilots, and
And they're the best people.
they're best, and they saw stuff. I'm just saying, they saw stuff."
Well, that'll take us. We'll do a podcast
Yeah.
on aliens, maybe as a chaser to the Halloween theme.
Oh yeah,
so
this
far,
is Halloween. Yeah.
So far, we are talking about grandparents taking kids, costumes, trends in kids' costumes. You were talking about you could just go out in casual attire because we could imitate a hobo, a person with no fixed address, no.
Put a
Now-
little charcoal on your face, you're fine.
Isn't that funny? Because now, would that be a politically incorrect
Oh
thing?
God, I don't know.
How
I was
can-
thinking of going to the door like this, and when they won't give me the candy, turn around and go, "Mom, I told you it wasn't a good costume, Mom."
I was going to turn you away at the door instead of giving you candy this morning because I thought, it's a little early for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My costume's an old man. See, my costume's an old man. I'm an
Now,
old man.
we've got through some costumes that used to be in vogue were sci-fi. Makeup became a very important part of a costume. When I was growing up, it used to be all the rage to have those fake masks that went over your face with an elastic band around your head.
Yeah.
Now I think makeup is, you change your face. You do face paint. You make your face into a cat, a dog, or an alien or whatever.
Yeah.
So is makeup, do you find that?
Well, I don't. Again, I haven't.
Your
been,
grandkids?
Maybe. Well,
Or you haven't
don't
had a
forget. By
chance?
the time I get there, I'll probably have an opportunity to see them. But they're all going to be arriving in different cars. There's 10 of them going to be there out of my 14.
Well, I hope
There'll
you
be
take
10.
time to get a photograph of the...
Well, I don't know if all 10 will
Whoever-
be there. Maybe the older ones won't be.
Right.
I don't know.
right?
Yeah, I keep forgetting that I got a camera on my phone. So
take pictures just so you can report back to the Jim and Terry Show. You'll be the reporter on the spot and take some inventory of what's the trend in Halloween in your neck of the woods.
Do you think you're going to get anybody
No,
knocking on
we
your door?
haven't. We've been here for 20 years. The first few seasons we were here, my wife and I used to dress up and go out the back door, come around to the front and give the Halloween shell out. And the other one who was inside would take my daughter to the door to distribute the goodies to the one child who came. And then we would get changed and go and get into a different set of shoes, different pair of jackets, and come around and put glasses on or a funny nose.
Moly.
And that's how we introduced our daughter to Halloween, and that kids do come to the door, do sing, shell out, the witches are out, and you do give them treats, and you ask them, oh, where did you get that costume? Oh, that's really, I like your shoes, or your funny nose or whatever. That was Halloween for us for a few years until we gave up and started doing what everybody does, hit the subdivisions. Mm-hmm. Park near a subdivision, everybody. And then we started supporting people who give out candy in the subdivisions because we weren't getting any, but we wanted to connect with the community. So eventually, and this is how we got to know our neighbor Kathy, is that she was distributing, and we started to give her what we would have bought for our supply for our door and say, you're getting all the kids. We enjoy going to visit you. Here's some candy. Please give it out.
It's really good.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff about Halloween. How about this? Let's switch the tack. Halloween and the church. Mm-hmm. Was that ever a problem for you? Either, cognitive dissonance. I'm a Christian. I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, it's a problem with me to this day.
How did you manage it? Or how
I
manage it?
I think after a while, when I first went to the church, I doubt if anything would have been done. But then I think they had some sort of a party, but you didn't dress up like demons. You didn't do stuff like that. The church isn't going to be open to hand out candies.
Right.
That's not going to be the case. I don't celebrate Halloween. I'm just going to be with my grandkids. I really don't celebrate.
No, I don't think we celebrate, but there is a community that comes together in all kinds of different ways. Perhaps Halloween is
give me one more second, because I'll tell you one of the things I like about Halloween is everybody out in the street and talking and everything. I wish we could do that without it.
Yes.
Halloween.
Yes.
Turn off the TV and everybody go outside and have a beer out in the front yard.
Slice that cognitive dissonance and say, I don't care if it is Halloween. I'm out for a good time with my grandkids. The Jim and Terry Show signing out. Bye-bye.